What is it like for a deployed soldier and a wife that is a nurse? How is that with the whole global pandemic thing going on?
Sean and I just wanted to kind of give you guys a look into what our lives are like right now. I noticed a lot of you have been asking like how things are, how we are, how's it going. So this should kind of answer a lot of the questions that you may have as far as what's going on. Hey guys, so today's video is a little different. It's kind of going to be like a point of view through my eyes and through Sean's eyes as far as like how things are going, the situation with everything. I noticed a lot of you guys have been asking us questions like for updates on how we're doing as far as, you know, the battle that we're currently going through right now with the outbreak and everything. So we decided to answer a few of your questions and like from my point of view as well as from his, so that you guys can get a better idea of where we are right now. The big thing is like being in the hospital right now, working as a nurse. You know, it can be scary, it can be like frightening because you never know like who has it. People don't fully understand like how it's spreading, things like that. So that's my current battle, is trying to make sure that I continue to protect myself while looking out for the safety of my patients as well, and continuing to provide the level of care that I have to provide to maintain, like, you know, keep people alive. Right now, Sean and I are going through quite a bit because, as you guys know, he was rapidly deployed at the start of the year. So we have that on top of, as everyone also knows, like the outbreak that we're dealing with the virus and everything. So my biggest frontline issue is like the concern of safety, because like I'm a competent nurse. I know how to take care of my patients, you know, I know how to work as hard as I can to keep people alive, but it can be scary when you go to work and you don't know if you're gonna have like your materials that you need in order to do your job. So it's like I have to balance safety with my desire to like help and my desire to care for people. So that makes it a little more difficult. My current issue right now is like we're battling this huge virus that nobody has any idea really like of all of the things that it may like entail. So we're just all kind of trying to deal with it as much as we can, battling it as much as we can, you know, doing everything that we can to defeat it. But working on the front lines as a nurse, it's hard because like you see a lot of things happening to people. You see things that like you never want to see, you know, and it can be very sad, it can be depressing, it can be like a downer, you know, because when like you see so many people, like it's just like back to back to back to back to back people getting wiped out by this thing, and you want to do everything that you can to help, but it's like sometimes you may feel a little helpless, or you know, you may feel like, well, what are we doing wrong? Like something that we're doing is not working. It doesn't feel like we're doing enough.
What is it like for a deployed soldier and a wife that is a nurse? How is that with the whole global pandemic thing going on? Ever in my life thought there'd be a deployment where you had to focus on social separation, but here we are. So most of my concern is back stateside with my wife, where she works as a nurse, and you know, I know that she's definitely helping people get through what they got to get through. So I'm not selfish, you know. I'm glad that she is able to do her job, but I also, you know, I'm just praying for her safety and for her health, and I'm praying for everybody else's health out there. So that's the frontline issue.
I wanted to be a nurse ever since I was a little girl. Like there's just something about it. I don't know. Every time like I would see a nurse, there was just like a certain gentle aura that they would have about themselves. And I was just like, you know, I like that. Like, I want to do that. I want to be able to touch lives. Initially, I thought that I wanted to go to med school, but then I was like, well, don't get me wrong, I have tons of respect for doctors, but I was like, I want to kind of be in a role where I can be even closer to the patient. So doctors have like tons of patients that they see all day, but I get like a specific group that I can bond with throughout the day. So I just thought that nursing would give me an opportunity to make like a really close bond and a tight bond, and to help as many people as I could. And you know, it's funny because I have met so many people who changed. I feel like they changed my life. They've told me that I've changed theirs. So, you know, it's just one of those things where it's like, wow, you know, you're touching lives, you're changing lives, you're making a difference. And I always wanted to make a difference. I was like, I want my life to mean something. I want my life to represent something. I want to bring some good to the world. I want people to look at me and think like, wow, like this person is selfless, this person loves to provide service, this person like cares for the people around them. And I feel like that's me. Like, I love taking care of people. I love, like, you know, sometimes it's the small things, and that's what I love about being a nurse, like being able to really put your emotions into what you're doing and being able to like just kind of let that come across, and people feel that. So I just love being able to like let my personality come through and let my emotions come through. I have cried with patients. I feel like nursing is one of those careers where you're able to put a little bit more of yourself into it and still be able to be okay. So that's why I decided to become a nurse. I wanted to change the world, and this is my little way of changing the world.
So I chose this career because it is something that I have always wanted to do. I have a family history of military service, and that being my grandfather served in the Pacific Campaign in World War II, and I always looked up to him and his advice when I was younger. It's impacted my life in a very positive way. I'm more confident, I have leadership skills, I can take care of my family no matter where I am, or if there's a pandemic going on. I absolutely love that about the military. I've seen different places, different cultures. It's been a good experience. Of course, there's days where it's not so fun, but I mean, that's just part of everything, I feel. So. Do I have any regrets? No, I don't at all. I can't complain.
I feel like the purpose of the battle that I'm fighting currently is to help as many people make it out of this thing alive as I possibly can. So if that means working extra shifts, if that means like getting less breaks, if that means, you know, just going full in, I will do whatever it takes, because these people have lives and people are like spending their last moments alone, you know, and things like that. And it's just really, it's not ever gonna be a thing that I'm like okay with. This whole, like this entire outbreak, like I will probably never forget like March of 2020 when all this really started to like heat up, you know, because it's like I was right here in the midst of it. It's something that like has affected me in more ways than one. Like, I mean, not being able to leave the house except for work, and then like it's affected my family. It affected, you know, my husband and a situation with him. So it's just like something that has affected my life. So I personally want to get this thing over with and out of here as soon as I can. So that is why I fight.
Just saying, the scariest part is being away from my family, being concerned for their safety. You know, as my wife saying safe when she helps sickly patients. And, you know, I do hope that her patients do make a speedy, healthy recovery. But I will say that I am always concerned about her health and for her safety while I'm gone. So that would be my answer to that.
The scary thing about like working right now is, on top of worrying about my family, on top of worrying about my safety, I have to worry about my husband, who is in a country overseas completely separate from me that is also dealing with the virus. So it's like, okay, not only do I have to worry about like his safety overall because of his job, but I also have to worry about like his health. And you know, it's just one of those things where I just give it to God. I pray for my safety each day, my husband's safety. You know, I just pray, and that's all I can do. I pray and I go to work and I do what I can. I keep myself busy and I talk to him as much as I can. We check in with each other, and like being a nurse, you know, so if I hear the slightest cough, I'm like, baby, and he's like, babe, I promise, like it was some dust. I'm always like on alert to make sure that he is okay. It's really hard, like trying to make sure that I keep a balance. So I'm trying to balance doing what I need to do as well as worrying about my husband, because I'm never gonna not worry about him. Like, it's just what you do when you love someone. So thinking about like him having his own battle over there, me having mine, I wish that we were together during this time, because like nothing like this has ever happened in our entire lives, and I pray that nothing like this happens again. But it's just scary because it's like tons of people all around me, I see that they are able to go through this like with their family, with their friends, you know, and it makes me sad because I'm not able to do that. I don't have like my husband, like my partner in crime, you know, so it's like we're on the same team, but our teams are completely separate. So that's something that I've kind of had to deal with, you know, and then seeing patients like going through this alone, it kind of like hits me in a soft spot. Like it hits close to home, and it's so close to my heart because I know what it's like feeling like you're like dealing with something without somebody that you really need to be there by your side. But at the same time, it also keeps me grounded because I'm like, wow, people are really like losing their lives to this thing. At least I'm healthy, my husband is healthy. I'm thankful for that, and I'm grateful for that, and I constantly remind myself of that. Like, he's okay, you're okay. Like, people are having it way worse right now, and it's just one of those things where I have to look at the positives, and I try to always be positive in everything that I can.
Being away from my wife and being concerned for her safety as this pandemic is spreading around the earth. I guess it's already spread around the earth, so you know, just making sure that she stays healthy, that she's staying safe, and that her patients and the folks that she's helping out, that they all make a healthy, speedy recovery. Always praying for her, always you know, making sure that I'm keeping in touch with her, making sure that she doesn't need anything, making sure that she's taken care of. So yeah, that's my biggest concern during this current situation. My front line is a lot less scary than her front line, if you ask me. She is dealing with folks that need to recover, folks that could potentially already have the virus or anything else. So I'm more concerned about her. Just, again, I've said this before, I'm going to keep on hammering it, her staying healthy so I can come home and be back where I belong in her happy, healthy arms. But yeah, I would say that.
Ways that I stay strong: focusing on the good things, looking forward to when my husband can come home, focusing on when we can move past all of this and like get back to, you know, our normal lives as we know them. I try to focus on doing what I can to save someone. I have like a habit of getting upset when I can't save someone because I want to save everybody. Every patient that I have, I want to save them. But I know that like that's not always realistic. You know, sometimes you just can't save everyone. And you know, I kind of get upset when I see people like not following the recommendations, like to stay home unless you absolutely, you know, like have to go somewhere for like something essential. Like, it's upsetting because it's like there are people that are having like homegoing celebrations with 10 people only, and then there are people having like full out house parties that are packed, and it's like, it's not fair and it's not right, and it's not going to help us move forward. So that is why like I advocate so strongly for staying home. You know, even when they open the country back up, I feel like still I would move with caution. I'm not gonna just go running back out there because nobody knows if it's gone. There's no vaccine or anything yet, so I'm not gonna go racing back out here for the same thing to happen right back again. Now, God forbid, I'm not saying that it will, but I'm just saying, like, still I would move with caution, you guys. Like, don't just go racing right back to having parties and such, because this thing was real. It still is real, and it's probably gonna be for a minute. So if that means that I have to wait a little bit longer before I get back to every single thing that I love to do, I'm fine with that if it will save a life. And I guess that's the way I look at it. If I can save a life, I don't mind.
So it impacts our personal lives because obviously she has to work sometimes long hours, and as for me, as we found out earlier this year, I could just be sent over the other side of the world without any notice. So those are the biggest impacts on our personal lives. We support each other emotionally, though, through vlogging, through FaceTiming. Sometimes I'll have her sister surprise her with things. Like, I'll send a list of things I'd like. I'd send her some money, and obviously it's kind of hard to do that this year because social separation has put a wrench into everybody's plans. But we do a lot of things, a lot of small things to make sure that we're taken care of emotionally and that we still feel the love. So I'll just put it that way. We're just keeping each other in our prayers. Really just talking to my wife keeps me motivated. Praying, working out, things of that nature help me keep going. And honestly, I always think there's an end to everything. So it could be the first day of a deployment, it could be the first day of a training rotation. There's always an end to it, so I mean, it's not that bad. Just suck it up, push through, and you're good. And then, of course, it helps a lot that my wife is always there to support me, and I'm always looking forward to getting back home to her. So that's the number one thing that I look forward to that keeps me going.
So I hope that during all of this, I have been able to change some lives, to touch some lives, save some lives. And, you know, I just come to work, I hit the ground running, you know, I do everything that I can to make sure that I can say I did everything for this patient. If that means taking my lunch a little bit later because they need a treatment, if that means, you know, having to stay a little bit after because I have to catch up on charting since I spent more time doing patient care. Like, whatever I need to do, I feel like it's worth it because I go home at night and I'm happy with myself, you know. And I know you guys mostly see, like, you see Sean and I in like our happy, positive, upbeat, like, ways of life. Like, we live for just having fun and laughing and dancing, you know, being silly with each other, and we love that. But like, the part of our lives that include our careers are very serious, you know. And I know a lot of you guys were like, oh, I'm not used to seeing Sean like so serious in his uniform. And, you know, of course, I don't really talk to you guys that much about my career like that, but I would like, I have such a desire to help people that it's like, it overwhelms me sometimes. And I get kind of emotional because if I think about it too long, I like will literally sit here and tear up, and I don't want to do that. So basically, I guess what I'm saying is, like, working from the front lines as a nurse, it's like a mixture of honor and pride and fear and being like anxious about, am I going to come into work and, you know, have like a ton of patients today? Am I going to come into work and not have a mask today? You know, it's kind of scary, and the unknown is scary, but I put my whole heart into my job. Sean and I just want you guys to know that we are okay, we are safe, we are being as safe as we can to make sure that we keep it that way. We love you guys so much. You have provided us with so much support and so much love, and it means the world to us. Literally have like the most amazing YouTube family ever. So we love you guys so much. You guys have been complete rock stars, sticking with us throughout this very lengthy deployment, as far as it being one that was unplanned. We have truly appreciated that. We cannot wait to get back to our normal fun selves, like having fun with you guys, posting videos with you guys. You know, it's just something that we can't wait for. So we look forward to that. Please continue doing what you guys can to make sure that we stop the spread of this thing so that the entire country can begin to heal as quickly as we can. I don't think anybody was prepared for the level of like devastation that it brought. And my heart goes out to all of the people who have lost loved ones due to this. People who aren't able to properly like have, you know, homegoing celebrations for their loved ones. People who are having to be apart from family. You know, my heart goes out to everyone like that. My heart goes out to the kids that aren't getting to graduate. Like my younger brother was one of them. He was supposed to graduate from college this month. So, you know, and now they're talking about making things virtual and whatnot. And if you just look at the negatives, like, what does it get you? Nowhere, but just upset. So that's the way I look at it.
Or what difference do you hope to make? The biggest one that I would say is that I've set a good example to my fellow soldiers as someone that leads by example, and just somebody that they can trust and look up to when they need anything. Also, I hope wherever I've been that I've had a positive impact on whether it's establishing a good rapport with locals or just representing America in a positive way.